IVM.
Hey everybody, we'd like to welcome a new sponsor, Storytel. Storytel is an audiobook streaming services for mobile and tablets. If you haven't heard audiobooks before and you're a podcast listener, audiobooks are probably right up your alley. You can enjoy your favorite titles when you travel, exercise, or cook. There are great books over here, like the Percy Jackson series is available. If you want like some new fantasy, or if you want to go for something old school or classic, you can get either Bram Stoker's Dracula, or you could get Edgar Rice Burroughs' John Carter series. Download Storytel today from the App or Play Store and enjoy a free 14-day trial. That's Storytel, Storytel, Storytel from the App Store or Play Store. Download today.
You're listening to TFG Football.
Welcome to a new episode of the TFG Indian Football Podcast. I'm your host Suju, and I have both the boys, Rita and Kevin, joining us via phone call. In fact, we all are connected via phone call. A great weekend that once again where we saw Indian football in action, and some good matches, some good goals, some crazy results, and the fight for probably in ISL for top 4. One is fixed, 3 more to go. That's still on. Meanwhile, in I-League, after Mohun Bagan defeating Neroka, it kind of looks like it is definitely Minerva's title to lose from now on. So that's how the scenes are in both the leagues. But let's talk about a day-wise, take you through day-wise fixtures and pick out the interesting ones. Now, on Friday when we last spoke, we had matches like Indian Arrows and ISL FC. Now, that was a thriller, and what a game not to be telecasted, right? So, all of that, and then we had again Gokulam being the giant killer of this season, beating Bagan and then beating East Bengal as well. A lot of crazy fixtures out there, but before that, a bit of news bit that we need to tell you is that AIFF today will be, having a meeting regarding the Super Cup. So after this, both the leagues end, there will be a Super Cup coming up. So we'll have more details on that. Hopefully, they reach to some conclusion and we get the dates and we get the numbers that we need. Now we will update you on that during the course of the day, and do follow the TFG Football to the handle for more. Now let's start with the Friday's fixture. If you look at, I think the most interesting one was definitely ISL versus Indian Arrows, because 2-2 draw. And starting with you, Kevin, what a game not to be telecasted, right? I mean, not to be shown anywhere. That was I'm telling you, it was Santosh Kashyap's plan.
It was sad that we didn't get to see, but just going by the updates, I think it was a pretty interesting game. By the way, the confidence of Indian Arrows has been growing, game by game. It was getting better, I would say. ISL FC, what do you have to say about that? Being champions going out in that style, there's nothing working right for ISL FC. Everything they want to do right is going the opposite way. And Indian Arrows, they've showed some belief in themselves, and I think coach will be very happy the way the progress you see of the season is what happened for them. So it's sad to see, sad to know that we didn't get to see the game for whatever reasons. But what a game to miss! Yes, what a game to miss.
Yeah, isn't it? Knowing that, I mean, Indian Arrows have been it's been a great learning experience for the young boys, and 2-2 draw against the defending champions.
Yeah, it's a good outing for them. We can't really say too much about how the goals happened, or what kind of formation actually worked out for Indian Arrows to pull off a good result like this, because we didn't get to see the game, and unfortunately. But it's don't expect ISL FC to just deliver from day one. Okay, I mean, when we were covering the fact that Santosh Kashyap has taken over, we knew that he's not trying to save the league. The league is done. What he's there for is the Super Cup and the AFC Cup. So that's where his actual focus and real concentration will be. So first game, don't expect him to deliver like that. He joined the team like 24 hours before that game, for God's sake. So there should not be any unrealistic expectations on them, and there should be no, even though Indian Arrows have dropped to the bottom of the table now, there should not be any underestimating that team, because they have already killed some giants so far this season. They have stopped big teams. So it's good that both the teams got goals and we had a tight contest. Yeah, I think that's what they should take. For both. I mean, for ISL FC also, I-League should become at this point a place of experiment. They should try out new players. They should try to gather as much data as possible, especially for Santosh Kashyap since he'll get a chance to see the players. Just use that in Super Cup and AFC Cup. That's all I think they can hope for at this point.
Now, well, talking about the match on Friday, it looked like it was supposed to have ended up in a draw, because if I-League that saw ISL and Engineers end in 2-all draw, the later match that happened between the ISL teams, Bengaluru FC and Pune City, was also ended up in a 1-all draw. Now, Bengaluru already cemented their position into the top 4, and Pune fighting to be there, but it looks like they will make it because they're in a good position. And Miku comes in to save the day for Bengaluru FC in a draw. So I think the winning momentum is not lost yet. So let's see how that goes about. Now, moving on to the Saturday fixtures, we saw some great action from 2 I-League matches, I would say, where there was also an ISL match, but I'm going to emphasize on the I-League games. Great action over there. Gokulam Kerala FC getting a win against East Bengal. Chennai City putting up a great performance, or I would say Michael Susaraj putting up a great performance against Social Brothers. Now, talking about Gokulam Kerala, first season that they're playing in the top division league, where their players, most of them have tasting a top division league, how it functions and everything. And within just days after defeating Mohan Bagan, they do the same against East Bengal, who are also in the title race. And now it looks like it's all over for them as well. I mean, towards the end, they are kind of choking up. Kevin, coming to you. What a great thing what a great feat for Kerala FC.
Yeah, the title ambition of East Bengal has taken a hit, and so has just the race at the top. It was getting close, and then when you want East Bengal to show what their character is, that is really disappoint. And again, it comes back to Gokulam FC. This is the second time they're beating Kolkata club in this season, and what a game for the fans to watch. I think they were brilliant in their physical play. Gokulam really stepped up and did not make too many mistakes, and that's the reason they were holding on to that. So it did look, it could have been a draw, but I think East Bengal really didn't want it enough. But they weren't too hungry to get those 3 points, because even 2-all would have been a disaster for them. It really didn't look as if they were there for killing off the game, because they kept it for too long. When you take that scoreline towards the end of the game, you're really going to be in danger of losing out or even handing over the 3 points to the opposition. And Gokulam Kerala just waited for their opportunity, and what a game to finish off with. What a great goal to have. I think they were very composed in their game, and the weather also actually took a toll on many of the players. We saw the game, the tempo of the game dropping off in between. The second hour especially, I think it was high tempo, but again, it was in parts. We didn't see a game that was, holistically, played at high tempo. And that is due to the weather. I hope that this doesn't happen again. Maybe, when you do have a unified league and this situation doesn't arise, because it's just terrible for the players. But all in all, a great result for Gokulam. I think 3 points against any team would be great. And just beating a potential title contender, it just sends you over the top of the it's just a great feeling to be.
Yeah, Chiranjeev, now East Bengal, I mean, their race to win the title continues, and now once again it has dropped. What do you say about that performance, where Kevin mentioned that it looked like towards the end the hunger kind of was lost. So what do you say about
the hunger was not lost. This is a result of all the shenanigans we saw out of the pitch. And this is why you should not like put too much pressure on the team and like one loss or one draw against Minerva Punjab, and suddenly you are just acting like everything is lost. And we saw that protest that fans held I think a couple of weeks back, and they already assumed that this was all done. But then what happened? Minerva Punjab went and lost 2 of the last 3 games. So that was the opening for East Bengal. If the team had received full support from the supporters as well as the officials, they would have gone in a very different direction, I believe. But then again, poor recruiting. You just take Bajo, then you want Khalid Aucho to come in. Khalid Aucho has signed. I don't know when he's going to turn up. So it's a bit haphazard. It seems like some of the officials have already given up on the title hope, which is totally not realistic, because imagine if somehow East Bengal had managed to beat Gokulam, like they would be back in it right now. It's you can't say you're out of it till you're actually out of it. So yeah, they're paying that price. They're paying that price for the unwarranted interrogation that Khalid Jamil was put through by officials. And all the kind of interference that are happening with his work and with the team from the management. So it's sad to see. It has happened before as well. It's happening again. And I think the only unfortunate part, as a football fan, I don't want to beat on East Bengal when they're down, at least not on this show. But yeah, it's unfortunate to see that the same reason why they choked up and have not won this league for about 14 years now, they're repeating the same mistake. It's just astounding how you can just keep on doing that.
Yeah, now moving on to the other match that I spoke about, Chennai City taking on Churchill Brothers. Now, both the teams are fighting relegation, and what a performance that Chennai has put up. Now, that win and previous performance has taken them to the 7th spot with 16 points now. A great game. I wish this was like I tweeted. I wish Susaraj was supported by the whole team from the start, because that man is actually playing like the true captain of the team and trying his best. You see him run everywhere all around the ground and making his best attempts to get some goals for the team, and we saw him getting 2 goals out of the 3. So a great performance from him. Only if a collective team effort was shown, probably there would have been a different case for Chennai City. Kevin, your thoughts on Susaraj? What more can you talk about this guy?
Yeah, he is the playmaker. He is the one who's dictating the play in the midfield. And on Saturday again, we saw how good he can be, even against a physical side like Churchill Brothers. And Churchill Brothers really didn't look like in the game right from the start. A couple of chances to Chennai City to begin with. I think they could have finished the game in the first half. But Churchill Brothers were allowed to come back late in the second half. I think that is where Chennai City can take something away if they have to take any amendments to their game. Otherwise, apart from that, I think it was almost a perfect game for Chennai City. And what a treat for the home fans. Yes. I think it was an overall effort by everybody. Susaraj was just the creator, but then if you don't have the finishers up front, if you don't have the support being given from the backline also, it doesn't show up. So I think it's a great way to get your home campaign with a win. I think this is the first one that you've got in Coimbatore. So many more to come. I think if we can just hold on and consistently present this type of gameplay against any opponents. So Susaraj, yes, once again leading everybody, leading his team from both sides. I would say defensively also he's very well organized, and threading those passes through balls and just pushing everybody up front.
Chiranjeev, now is it too late that these performances are coming up from Chennai City, or they still can, keep performing at that and get a spot in the Super Cup?
Well, Super Cup, AIFF are sitting and discussing it right now as we speak, and they might decide to make it a 16-team affair. In that way, everybody gets a chance anyway. At least you get to play in the qualifiers. But Chennai City winning this, I think the biggest takeaway is that they are about to avoid relegation this way. They have a proper chance now. They're on 16 points after 16 matches. Churchill brothers are on 16 after 15 matches. So if they manage to gather some more points, they're safe. They're actually safe, and that's a big deal for them. So they are fighting for much bigger than a Super Cup spot. But they are just below ISL FC, who are on 18 points from 14 matches. So maybe a top 6 finish is also in their mind, although I don't see that happening too much because they've already played too many games. But still, relegation is a big motivator. So you're gonna see them fighting for something tangible in the last 2 games.
Okay, now finishing the Saturday fixtures was the match that happened between Northeast United and Kerala Blasters. Now Northeast playing the final home match. Once again, another season that gone by and they've not made it to the top 4. Meanwhile, Kerala Blasters continue to fight for a spot because once again it's like permutation combination, because if they continue winning, they also have to hope for the other teams to get a loss. Now, a 1-0 victory that also saw 1 goal scored by West Brown, who scored for the first time for KBFC. So some good moments happening in Kerala Blasters, but their happiness is kind of dependent on other teams in ISL, because that brings us to the other match that happened on 18th. But before we get on to Sunday fixtures, let's take a short break and then come back and talk about this. And also we have 2 I-League fixtures coming your way, which are going to be a chiller. All of that on the other side of the break.
Hello there, my name is Naveen Narona, and as a gay person in India, I get asked a lot of stupid questions.
Beta, is it LGBT or eligibility?
How do 2 men procreate?
Bro, is Grindr better than Tinder or what?
We answer all these questions and much more on my podcast, Keeping It Queer, where I talk to individuals from the LGBT community in India and learn about their personal stories. Catch all the episodes on the IVM podcast app or any other podcasting app you like. Till then, keep it queer.
Welcome back, and the first half we spoke about how great matches we saw and some that we couldn't see because we were not able to see, or rather we were not allowed to see. So now moving on with, as I said, we spoke about Northeast and Kerala Blasters getting the win against Northeast, but that kind of put a little bit of pressure for Jamshedpur, who are also fighting for a top 4 against the team Chennai FC, who are also fighting for a top 4 in ISL. Now that ended up in a 1-1 draw. Chiranjeev, what do you reckon now? I mean, Jamshedpur and Chennai still have a better chance than KBFC?
Yeah, they do. They definitely do, because it was a kind of a slightly lax game, I thought, from Chennai FC. They conceded early and only then they went up, and I think they were pretty much okay with getting a draw. One thing they don't want to do is finish 4th and play Bengaluru FC in the semi-finals. But yeah, they just trying to keep the distance. Jamshedpur FC have that slight advantage over Kerala Blasters. Have some pretty tough matchups coming up as well. So yeah, I would put Jamshedpur FC ahead just on that right now.
Yeah.
I mean, things can just go up and down on one game's result here. It's just a 2-point gap, so that's nothing. So yeah, it's gonna go down to the wire. I pretty much think it's gonna stay alive till the last round. So let's see.
Yeah, Kevin, your thoughts on all of that?
I think it was fair to call that a draw, and it did. Both teams, I think, fought equally in their own way. It was limited from Chennai and FC. Again, I would agree on that part. Jamshedpur FC, I think they're very cautious still now. They can still be, that team that forgets that they are a defensive side and just go out and attack. But I think that confidence has not yet come. to just go all attack and then come back quickly in transition. So that's the reason we see a lot of holding gameplay by Jamshedpur FC, and that's smart play again. You should know and play by your strengths only rather than trying experiments and then having disastrous situations towards the end of the game. So I think draw was a fair result for both teams.
Yeah, but one thing I would say that Jamshedpur FC should have fought harder, because it's not Kerala Blasters they need to be worried about. They need to be worried about FC Goa, and they have had a couple of bad games. I think they have managed to win. They have not managed to win any of their last 4 games, but each of those games were pretty hard fought. Other than the Bengaluru game, they're facing Delhi Dynamos next. I think on Wednesday. There's a good chance they'll win that. Pune City away, it's a tough fixture. They might not, but then they're playing ATK at home, right? And then the last match is against Jamshedpur FC. So if they keep winning, it's going to become a top 4 playoff on 4th of March between Jamshedpur FC and FC Goa. And Jamshedpur really could have used the 2-point further advantage here. And they've blown it.
Yeah, that's an interesting point that you brought in, and that makes things more interesting to look ahead. Well, now moving on to this game that happened between Neroka and Mohun Bagan. That also was kind of it took a hit for Neroka's title race. If Gokulam ended East Bengal, then Mohun Bagan did the same to Neroka. It was a thriller, I would say. It looked like it's going to end in a 2-1 or a 1-0 or a 2-2 but then Bagan had the last laugh as they got the 3rd goal and the match ended in a 3-2 win for Mohun Bagan. So Ranjit, happy man, but good record, good season, but no title. How is that a good season?
Yeah, well, most goals scored in the league, least goals conceded in the league. The attack looked so good. The defense was wobbly though. The second goal was okay. It was scored from a beautiful angle, tight conversion from Felix Chidi. The first one, I don't even know why King Shukdevnath was out there. What he thought he was supposed to be doing, allowing the opponent strikers so much space. The way Subhash was just allowed to pretty much roam around. The thing is that Mohun Bagan, you could just see what a fully fit Yuta Kinowaki can do, and the way he was marshalling the midfield. It allowed Cameron Watson a lot of free. He had a kind of a more free role, and he could change his position the way he wanted, which resulted in the forwards getting more service and Mohun Bagan creating more chances, which is why you saw goal after goal after goal with them going ahead. And also Neroka's desperation for win helped, because they needed a win. They did not want to drop points here. So they had no option but to keep attacking and play a high defensive line, which is why you saw that goal that Dika practically stole from Cameron Watson. It was Cameron Watson who pretty much walked behind everybody, even the goalkeeper, and he was right in front of the goal, and Dika practically just went and took the ball from his foot and scored from 2 feet outside the net. So it's kind of sad, but full marks to Neroka for fighting. And what about the luck of Minerva Punjab? They run into bad form. They have won only 1 out of their last 4 games, I think. They got a draw against East Bengal. Then East Bengal get setbacks against Churchill Brothers and Gokulam, right? They lose to Churchill Brothers, but then Mohun Bagan also get knocked out of the title race by Gokulam. They go ahead and lose to East Bengal. Then East Bengal lose to Gokulam, and then Neroka, the last remaining challenger, gets knocked out by Mohun Bagan. It's like every single time they are losing step, everybody else who's in the title picture is also losing their step. And it just seems like it's fate. It's going to happen no matter what they do. Minerva Punjab versus Gokulam tomorrow is going to be, I think, one of the defining games of the season. with Gokulam on destructive form. If Minerva Punjab can beat this team, it's done. It's over. It's over and out.
Now, the last match that saw bring Sunday to an end and a weekend to an end was 80K versus Mumbai City. Now, there's a 2-1 victory to Mumbai City, and I would say Mumbai City taking good advantage of 80K's ongoing struggle. And it looks like kind of, Mumbai City are also fighting for a top 4, but it is difficult. But wins and mathematical stuff can do a lot of things. And once again, I think Mumbai City's also result will depend on other team performing. Well, moving on to some good 2 fixtures that coming your way in I-League today and tomorrow, but I would stress a little bit more on tomorrow's game, and we'll come back. Don't worry, Kevin, don't be angry. I will come back to Shillong versus ISL. But at this moment, Minerva's title race looks pretty strong and going, but they are playing Gokulam Kerala FC, who've defeated Mohun Bagan and East Bengal back-to-back. Now, Minerva hosting, but a win could definitely assure them the title, but how are things looking? If Kerala can put an upset here, what do you reckon, Kevin?
I think this will be the title decider. Mostly, I don't see anywhere Minerva are losing this. There's no chance that Gokulam FC, can make a comeback and cause an upset over here because Minerva are well rested. They are highly motivated. I think their form is not the one that's troubling them because everybody's result is working in their favor, and that's going to be on their mind. So they're going to be playing totally free in their heads, and it's going to be a free flowing football from Minerva. I think back to how they started the league with. So I think it's going to be finished when they host this next game. I think we will see Minerva, just full of this. Yeah, we will see a Minerva side that's going to be jumping with joy, and we will see a new champion very soon this week.
Okay, Chiranjeev?
Yeah, I think so too. It's Tuesday victory for them, and if they beat ISL on Monday 26th, they'll make it official. It's just this is it. Now is the time to deliver or perish. They don't really have that much of a threat right now going on, but they certainly don't want to leave it to Chennai City, who are on good form right now, and Churchill Brothers, who have spoiled others' parties. So Gokulam should be the defining match, and why not? I just see it every time they have been cornered. Minerva Punjab, they kinda go out and deliver on the pitch and prove everybody wrong. So yeah, it should happen. I'm calling it now. Minerva Punjab will probably become champions. Like, we'll know that there will be mathematical possibilities here and there, but we'll know that they are the champions on Tuesday.
Well, yeah, tomorrow 4 p.m. we'll know all about that. And coming back to tonight's fixture between Shillong Lajong and ISL FC, Kevin, it's all on you. I'm not even going to ask Ranjit about this match, so we can take the whole time. What do you reckon? Shillong hosting ISL FC, both not looking in great shape, but 5th and 6th position, Shillong and ISL, with both are sitting at 18 points.
I think Shillong hold the edge over here. Bitterly disappointed ISL FC, who's not even looking at the I-League for any redemption or even just, it's no longer even pride for them. For them, it's just, let it pass and we will take care of a new, fresh campaign via the Super Cup or if they make it through the Super Cup or the AFC Cup. So it's all for Shillong Lajong to take it convincingly. I hope they can perform well. And being the home game, I expect lots of passes going around, and it sometimes it's sad to see Shillong Lajong from a season back and now. There's so much of difference. That could be the style of play that the new coach brings in, and Shinto was so brilliant. And it also might depend on the scoring because they've got a lot of players who have gone away, and that really hurts. The coach's plan never works in a way that he would want to, unless the players are the ones that he wants in his plan. So it's terribly, it's so sad to look at this team right now. They didn't really, kick off big expectations in this season. But I think if they can finish off on a high, that will be the biggest reward for this season.
Okay. Kevin, how many goals will Shillong score?
I don't see too many. Maybe 2-1 narrow victory for Shillong Lajong.
Okay. Though I said I won't let Chiranjeev talk, I'm going to only ask you one question, Chiranjeev, and be very brief on that. What's the scoreline between Shillong versus ISL?
Well, being brief, I think the significance of this match lies in the fact that AIFF is about to decide on what the Super Cup will look like. If they make it out 4 teams from each league affair, a short one, then there is no chance that this holds much of importance going forward. But maybe this is about redemption for Shillong Lajong. They lost to ISL FC. I mean, they held them to a draw, but they wanted to spoil that party but could not. But ISL FC went on to win the league on their soil, and I don't think Shillong Lajong are too happy about that. So they will try to get a win and get one back for themselves. We don't know whether there will be an I-League next season. So yeah, it's time to set the records straight and in their own favor. So they're being very brief. 1-0 win for Shillong.
Okay. Well,
I was brief, right?
I don't think literature students ever get what brief means. I mean, it's okay, but let's move on now. I think that brings us to the end of the show. But something interesting coming your way, not just in terms of matches, but also in terms of our shows. Now, from very soon, we'll be starting a new format. Many of you wanted to see us talk. I don't know why that is. Why do you want to see us talk so much? But we are kind of in a way to grant that wish. And you'll be soon seeing us talk Indian football with a very, very relatively new format. And in that, I assure you, we will keep Chiranjeev in very brief. We will make him talk very brief. So a lot of fun things even in terms of TFG Indian Football podcast coming your way. So keep tuned and stay glued on to TFG Indian Football, TFG Football Twitter handle to get all the updates about that and also about what's happening otherwise in Indian football. We always keep updating you. Just like we started off the show saying that AIFF is in a meeting, we'll keep you updated. So keep your eyes out on the Twitter handle for TFG Football and also get on the website affanzad.com for more details on all that we spoke about today. Enjoy the games. Come back to us as and when we say it. We'll come back to you. Have a great day, guys. Cheers.
TFG Football is an IVM production, and you can also check out their other awesome shows like Geek Fruit with fellow and television geeks Tejas, Jishnu and Dinkar as they discuss the world of science fiction and nerd culture.
As you can see, we have a podcast listener in his natural habitat. Millions of years of evolution have led him to this point. He's on his way to work, and listening to podcasts makes his miserable day better. He will now head to work and use all his knowledge to communicate with other colleagues and possibly future mates. You can find more of his species on ivmpodcasts.com, your one-stop destination where you can check out all the coolest Indian podcasts. Happy listening.